Welcome to the NFP Podcast, where we explore the empowering world of natural family planning. I'm Amy Smith. Join me and my co-host Emily Appledorn each week. Together, we're here to dive deep into the science, the stories, and the spirituality behind NFP. Every week, we push back against the free love culture and advocate for a culture of responsible love, where intentionality and respect are at the forefront of family planning. Join us as we discuss everything from the practicalities of charting and fertility awareness to the profound impact NFP can have on relationships and communities. Whether you're new to NFP or a seasoned pro, our podcast is your go-to resource for honest conversations, expert insights, and real-life experiences. So grab a friend, settle in, and get ready to be inspired. This is the NFP Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Hi, everyone.
We got Moses with us today.
Hi,
It's our first. Hello. Our first podcast back, just Emily and I, since having this little guy. So we are going to talk about Lent and how our Lents are going. And I think we're going to title the podcast, My Life is Lent. The story of a mother's Lenten journey. A Catholic mother's Lenten journey is My Life is Lent. I'll still never forget that. My good friend who told me that one year, I was like, I was this like naive, no kids, married girl. And I'm like doing all the things, all the devotions, all the retreats, all the, everything, all the fasting, all the stuff. And not that that's not good stuff. That's good stuff, But then I was like, so what are you doing? And she's like pregnant again. And she's got this little home. And she looked at me like, Amy, my life is Lent.
You'll never forget that.
Never. And at the time, I didn't think it was funny. At the time, I was like, wow, like, you need to prioritize. You need to oh my God, this is embarrassing.
You can't even say it.
You need to prioritize prayer and
you can't even say it.
I can't because it's so awful. It's so naive and awful. Oh man, I have since told this friend this whole scenario. And she is such a wonderful mother and very devout Catholic and prays the right amount. She is just nothing with her. Okay, guys, it was all me. But I just was like, that wasn't a very good enough answer. Here's me with all my checklist of stuff. It was just this puffed up, spiritually proud moment in my life.
Oh man, I've talked about, excuse me, I've talked about that time in my life, I think with my sister. And you just have no idea. And it's a really special time on the other extreme, right? Golly, I remember so vividly so many special Lents, And it's wow. It's being able that I struggle with being able to find the beauty in the other spectrum, after motherhood,
Yes.
Because not once again, but because so much of that previously before motherhood is so consoling and one very spiritual pride in
quiet.
Yes, so quiet. And you have so much control of your day and your,
prayer time
you're doing. Yeah.
Again, quiet.
Quiet. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So you want to go first? How's your Lent going? Or you want me to
go? Man, my Lent is fine. It's, I was trying to think of special things to share about
hit us with something very profound and spiritual.
Oh,
or it doesn't count, Emily.
Yeah. Man, I'd really have to ponder that. The one, so we're recording this on the Feast of St. Francis of Rome, and she has become really, so I think this is kind of beautiful that we're doing this on her feast day, but I'm in the confraternity of Christian mothers at our parish. I'm not sure if you guys have that.
It's beautiful. No,
it's a really beautiful group, and not every parish has it. Not every diocese, even from what I understand, has it. But the bishop has to allow you to have this group, and it goes back really far, and I'd have to I wish I could like describe it in better detail, but
so
it's really beautiful. Okay. So anyway, at one of the last meetings, I guess, it starts with like confession, the mass, then we recite the prayers, and then Father gives a talk, and it's monthly, once a month. It's just really beautiful. It's just,
that is beautiful.
Any woman can be a part of it. You don't have to be a mother, but
nice.
But it's called the Confraternity of Christian Mothers. Anyway, so we got a book on St. Francis of Rome. And
nice.
Yeah, I've been reading.
What's the book?
It's from Tan, and it's literally I feel like it just says I can give you the link to it.
Yes, we can link to it for people.
Okay. It literally just says on the front, I think, like St. Francis of Rome, something like that. Anyway, it's just really beautiful. And before we hopped on here, we were talking about her a little bit, and there's so many saints that you feel like you can relate to. And then there's so many saints that I'm just like, I don't know how they did it. And this is one of those saints. Like, I'm just like astounded at her like perseverance, and just like, she was just very like steadfast on her mission. It just felt like she was just always oriented towards God. And anyway, it's just been really beautiful to read, especially during Lent. Anyway, so I've just been reading that, like picking it up, putting it down. It's not that long of a book, but it's been really great as far as like spiritual reading for Lent. And I just feel like I think we talked about this. Like, are you a dates person? Like, have we talked about this?
Going out on dates?
No, just like do dates like.
Dates. Are dates significant? Not so much. Joey's really into dates.
Yeah, I am too.
Depends. Sometimes, but not really.
March 9th, like, it's just interesting. God speaks to us. He knows how to speak to us, right? Like, everyone has different ways. And I just like, when I put the connection together, March 9th just feels like a big day for me. And in previous years as well, like, it's just kind of interesting. Anyway, I didn't know it was her feast day.
Oh.
And I'm like, they always say like the saints pick you, And anyway, I just find myself like having a deeper devotion to her. Just, at this time in my life. And I think it's actually, I'm so grateful for it, because she feels very orderly. She feels very like,
gentle.
Yes. But busy. I mean, this woman was busy, and I feel the busyness, but she also, once again, like, you can just tell she was just very much oriented on God, or kept her eyes on God. And so anyway, that's some spiritual reading that I've been doing. Doing all the other, I say little things, but like, really trying to not be on my phone, like social media wise, at all. And then like I always give up sweets, but that's just been something like from years ago. But a lot of times, depends, like, I'm not pregnant or nursing that I know of as far as pregnancy. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to like try not to eat between meals kind of thing. Well, then I find myself like overindulging at meals that I would never do. I would never do that. So anyway, it's just so humbling, because like, I feel like fasting is like I really have had so much love for fasting over the years. And I really believe that if you want something to happen fast, like, I think that that's what that means, really. Things happen really fast when you fast. And so, when you're pregnant or nursing, like, there's so many little acts that you can do with such great love. And I realize that, but like, it just feels like so much more powerful, to be able to like really fast. And so, it's just, the excitement of like not knowing until we get to heaven, God willing, that like what everything, how everything added up. You know what I mean? Like, just the little things. Like, I just think I get so in my head about it being something so trying to be perfect, like, in essence, like, and I realize I'm never going to be perfect, but like trying to, perfect those Lenten penances. And it's just like, it's just not it's not happening for me to be perfect. And I really like that, So anyway, just trying not to get lax on my Lenten penances. But also, those are just a couple things. I do have a novena though that I do want to talk about later, but I want to hear how yours is going.
Oh, I want to hear that.
Yeah.
So I want to read that book on St. Francis.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So I can link it for other people too.
Mm-hmm.
So my Lent, let's see, it started before Lent. I was listening to one of the Norbertine priests from California. They've got a great channel. I'll link to that if people are interested. And he did this last year too. I don't know if always, I haven't listened to them forever, but last year I remember them talking a lot about fasting and the importance of fasting. And they're not doing, I told Joey, I was like, I really loved this. It was like a 20-minute clip, like a 20-minute talk. But I loved it because, Emily, he didn't like water down fasting. He didn't say like, oh no, fasting means like not watching a show or it means this. He's like, no, literally fasting means not eating and being hungry. He's like, when the church says to fast, that's what she means. You don't physically eat food and you are hungry for God. And he didn't say it as bluntly as I'm saying it. I mean, he does, but he just put it so beautifully, And of course, I feel like this is such a waste of our verbal energy nowadays, Emily, that I feel like every time you say something, you have to like add this stupid caveat. Unless, you're like sick or it's like, well, duh. Like if you're pregnant and you can't go all day without eating, like don't do that. It's just like, okay, have common sense and like insert your situation into the thing. So anyway, I'm listening to this when I was end of February. Yeah. So I had him. Yeah. Okay. So, nursing and like nursing is very calorically demanding too. But I was like, well, what can I do? I ended up fasting on Ash Wednesday and I was totally fine. And my milk supply was fine too. So
that's amazing. Praise God.
Yeah, but I really just like, because it's so funny the way that we fast in our, I don't know if you ever find this funny, Emily. Joey and I were joking about this on Ash Wednesday. We went to, because we had our Ash Wednesday service was at noon and we went there and he's like, I had seen him like in the morning, he had gone and done something. And so we met up at Mass with the kids. And we usually joke because there is this meme I saw years ago when I was in campus ministry, or it was a story I'd heard, sorry, not a meme. And it was a guy who was at work and he's at the coffee or the water fountain, like water break or whatever, like mid-morning. This guy comes up to him. Have you heard this story?
No.
Okay, the guy, his coworker comes up to him. How you doing, man? Like, are you doing okay? And he's like, oh gosh, man, I am just like, I'm fasting today, Wow, when was the last time you ate? He's like a couple hours ago. And he's just like, and he was just like got this dreary look, like this is just not eating is like so hard.
Right.
So anyway, which I get it. It can be hard to do when you're used to maybe eating a lot. Anywho, okay, I understand all the things. But the point is, Joey and I laugh about it because he's like, so how are you doing? I'm like, well, it's rough, because the funny part, Emily, is I have a very full fridge and a full pantry. And when I'm done fasting for these 8 hours, I'm going to eat dinner. It's not like I'm uniting. It's not like I'm literally, my kids, I'm starving, like flashing to the person dying on the streets of Calcutta that Mother Teresa would pick up that were flesh and bone because they were literally starving. I'm like, I'm not eating for a little bit. I didn't make my kids fast, by the way, that story, but I'm not eating for a little bit. And then I'm going to go to my plethora of food and I'm going to eat a meal. Emily, so it's kind of like, I feel like fasting in our country is a joke. I feel like when I fast, it's kind of a joke because I'm like, oh Lord, which I know it's not. I joke, but it's like,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, okay, I'm not eating, and it can be hard, and I'm hungry, and I can unite that with Christ and bring that to the Mass, and and seek the Eucharist more. But anyway, listening to this Norbertine priest and just that perspective of okay, I know this is powerful, but I'm also feel like maybe it's just a good place of humility to come at when you're fasting to be like, this is also kind of a joke. I'm sure I'm not eating right now, but I have a full fridge I'm going to go to and eat dinner later.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, not like ringing your bells. Look at me, I'm fasting. It's I don't know. I just don't find it that impressive, if you will.
Right.
Right. Which maybe is silly, but anyhow.
No, I do know what you mean, but I know that
but I do it because it is powerful. I agree with you 100%.
Exactly.
So powerful. I feel so close to Christ in the hunger. So I totally get it. Yeah. And like, it's so powerful. But I'm like, there's just something about the fact that like I have food that I will be eating eventually. I just find it to be
right. It's not like you're wondering where your next meal is coming from.
Right. Which I like. Right. Exactly. Thanks be to God. Like I do have food to have.
Yes.
So yes, I have been in the ways that I can in this season, like just throughout Lent. So after listening to that, just finding ways to have, to be fasting more, whether it's eating something that I necessarily don't really want to eat, but it's what I have or it's quick, like I'd really like to make a fresh meal. Well, kids are screaming. I need to nurse. What I can do is pull out this and just eat a cold meal of leftovers. I'm going to eat that, and be more present with my kids. So I feel like my Lent is parenting. Yeah. That's my Lent, Emily, is parenting, being more present with my kids, breaking some bad habits. So we're together a lot as a family with our schedule and my husband's schedule with work. We're all home a lot. But in the evening, a couple nights a week, my son goes to activities, and a couple nights a week he is there for a little while. And so my husband will use that time to go to the gym, or we'll do our own thing. And that's usually the time my twins have screen time. Well, during Lent, they watch Formed. Mm-hmm. So anything they can watch a kids show on Formed, but we don't watch other shows. And then they were watching, we'd gotten into the habit of like them coming over to the island, the twins, when it was just me home with them, and I make them dinner and they could continue watching their show as they ate.
Okay.
Well, I just felt like we're going to not do that anymore. So that was a little rough Band-Aid to pull off. So now like we have it worked out where, they shower, they clean up, they're ready to go. Okay, they can watch a show while I'm making dinner. And almost all the shows on Formed are like 20 minutes or 23 minutes. Yeah. So it works out great. They watch a show, I make dinner, and then they have to leave the show and come over and sit and eat dinner. And I have to sit and talk to them. So it's been great. Like no one's distracted. Me too. Like I am having to be present with my kids, which has been hard. Oh gosh, Emily, it's been hard because, in the disciplining.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the disciplining and the nitpicking, they're all that age where they're just like, they know each other's buttons already and they know how to push them. And they play together great too, but it's like at the end of the day, people are tired or just people are nitpicking. I just want to take a break. So it's been really good. And I told Joey the other day, we went on a date and we were walking and I was like, okay, so this has actually been bearing some really great fruit because I'm just sitting at we have an island that has 3 seats. And so when the twins are home and they're eating dinner, I sit at the 3rd seat. And I've usually been nursing this guy. So I sit and I talk to them and they ask me questions and we've been having really good conversation, Emily. So, and now they're used to it and I'm used to it. And so I'm really grateful that I feel like that habit of watching, they can watch something. Now, if everyone's home, we don't do that. If everyone's home, we all are eating a meal together. But a couple nights a week, that's what was the habit we were getting into. So anyway, we broke that habit and challenging. But now we're in like now we're kind of in like the 3rd week of Lent groove. So that's moving along. Right. But yeah, so
do you think
it's just been hard, but so many graces, and the Lord has definitely met me there. I've just felt his presence in those family moments. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Do you think, because I think we were talking about this before when we were talking on the phone after Moses was born, do you think like not being, I'm guessing you're not on your phone as much. I know.
Yeah.
like,
right. That's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have to be more present with my kids.
Right. And would you or would you not say, because I feel like it's easier for me to be more patient when I'm not on my phone, and then somebody, like the noise gets so loud and I'm just so quick to, yell or just like, stop doing that, whatever. And it's because I don't even know what's going on. It's just really bothering me because I'm trying to get this done or whatever.
Yes.
And so it's just like trying to not be on my phone because, one of my things is like, Lord, like, I want to be a mom like Mary and Elizabeth and Anne and, all the other, obviously, like saints and matriarchs of the Bible. But I think of them so often. And I'm like, the little things like that, like I am so much better if my phone is just not beside me. And then I'm not so just like
snippy.
Snippy. That's it. Snippy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nope, that's it.
Put the word in your mouth.
Nope, that was the word. Like I'm not reactive. I'm just way not reactive in instances where it's just like, they're just being kids. Like,
well, and Emily, that's the thing is like I was just glossing over my own imperfections by not having having these boundaries we were having right now during Lent. And that's what I like about the penances, right? They're kind of stricter boundaries to kind of get me back in line. And I think virtue-wise, it's been very helpful, very humbling to be like, wow, I can get very angry with my kids and the fact that they're around and they're existing right now. Like, I need you to not be existing right now. I'm trying to get this done. Don't you see this is important? And it's been very like, yeah, just the Lord's used it to be very humbling of like, no, actually, this is the priority, Amy, not what you think is the priority right now. Or if you're trying to get that done, this has been the other thing, Emily, that's been very eye-opening is in my examination, it's almost like I haven't intended to do like an examination every night. And I wouldn't say it's not like I whipped out a book and like I'm doing something. I've just been thinking about the day and the times when maybe I faltered in what I'm trying to do this Lent. And I think, what could I have done though to have prevented that? Like, okay, if I wasn't trying to do that pickup order at that exact time and I had gotten up a few minutes earlier and gotten it done before they came out of their room, then I wouldn't have been distracted. Then we wouldn't have fallen behind 5 minutes. Then I wouldn't have been yelling to get people's socks and shoes. I wouldn't have been running late and blaming my kids for me running late in my mind, thinking it's their fault when really it was mom's bad management of time.
Million
Does that make sense?
Oh, so, all day, every day.
Yeah. Or like snapping or whatever it is. It's like the part that I have to play in it as the responsible parent, the responsible adult in the scenario is like, okay, no, this is on me to do. And then we had a situation come up with Max. And I was telling Joey about it yesterday with not being on it, with lying, very intentional lie. And Emily, I really don't think if I hadn't been more present. Oh, reading. So I finished this book. I'll link to it. It's really great by Trent Horn on Salvation is from the Catholic Church.
Okay.
It was great. And I started it, and then I've started another book. So I'm also like just getting more reading in, which I love.
Same.
I forget how much I love reading.
Same.
So I went back to a book that I haven't finished cover to cover yet. I've kind of read pieces. And it's called Respect Talk, How Mothers Can Learn to Talk to Their Sons. It's fantastic. And so anyway,
You've told me about this before.
Yeah. I'll link it too. But I finished the Salvation book, and then I started that one 2 nights ago. And because I also feel like I get a lot of reading done in this season because I'm up at night nursing. So I read in the middle of the night. Anyway, so I started the Mother-Son Respect Talk book again. And then we had this incident with Max. And I told Joey, I'm so grateful that I had started that book again because it was in the forefront of my mind. Okay, how am I going to handle, like, how can I handle the situation and approach it in a way that is, bringing up the fact that you did something wrong, instilling a consequence, and then also speaking to him in a way that wasn't demeaning and rude and yelling. And thanks be to God and his grace. It's like one of those times when you parent, you're like, I feel like I nailed it. Like, yes, parenting win. It's not always the case. It's not always the case. But I do attribute that to maybe it was something you mentioned with St. Francis of Rome, the story I heard of her. I would just say she was present.
Yes.
And that's how it felt, Emily. It felt like I had my faculties.
Yeah.
I was in control of my faculties as again, like the adult in the room. I say responsible, like I'm not always that responsible. I don't really like responsibility, but that's what I'm called to do. So it felt like I was just like, boom, like focused in the moment, carrying out the mission, like what I had to do. So anyway, I'm just really grateful. I feel like I'm really grateful. It's been challenging, but very good. So
beautiful. How did he react?
He was crying, but we had a good conversation because he was aware. I said so when he's very similar to me. When he's hurting, he comes out as anger. When he's embarrassed or sad or whatever. So he stomped off angry at me. And I'm like, why are you angry at me? You're the one that did something wrong. And then I realized what happened when he came back, and he's just all teary-eyed. And I said, so do you want to talk to me about what happened? And we were chatting and I said, are you sad? I basically, kind of broke the seal. I was like, are you upset? Are you upset with yourself because you did something wrong? And he burst into tears,
Yes.
Yes. And the funny part was, Emily, so on Sunday, sorry, I'm almost done. I feel like I'm rambling. But on Sunday, they do get to watch like whatever, like their normal show. Okay.
Yes.
So yesterday was Sunday, so they got to watch their normal show. Well, my father-in-law came over, and I'm home by myself with the kids for a little while. So my father-in-law came over very kindly so I could go for like a walk by myself. So I went for a walk, and I told Max, you can watch anything on, your shows on Prime you want to watch. But he wanted to watch. He's like found these like reels of these like high schooler or college age boys that do these like different tricks. Like,
sure.
I wasn't quite understanding it, but he was telling me about it, and I was like, okay. So I don't really know what you're talking about, but no, you can't watch that. You can watch something on Prime. So I get home. What have you been doing? I look at the tablet history. He was watching that and lied about it. The part that was interesting was when I was out on my walk, I thought, you know what? He's mentioned this a few times. What I want to do is carve out some time tonight and I can watch these with him.
Right.
So I came home and I said, the sad part, Max, is that this is what mommy was going to do tonight. And he just burst into tears even more, feeling bad, and I just felt so much empathy though, Emily, because how I have been in that situation. I feel like with the Lord, when I grasp at something, I've been told no. I mean, it's classic Garden of Eden story, right? I was told no. I grasp at it and then consequence. And it's like, but God wanted to give me something better, it's just why did I do that? So I could see him going through this experience and I'm like, buddy, I can totally relate. So it wasn't like, there was no like real anger in me. It was just like, this is an opportunity to learn this really great lesson that I've learned many times. And I'm sure we'll be back here again with you to learn it again. And then I tried to give some tools, I was like, okay, so what would have gone over better? I said, what makes this even worse is that I asked you if you were watching that and you told me no. He's like, but if I told you yes, you would have given me a consequence. I was like, that's right. Either way, there would have been a consequence. But now lying is on top of that consequence, which makes it even worse. Do you understand that? And he's like, yes. And I said, and so next week, we're not going to get to watch anything now. And he's like, okay, well, maybe in 2 weeks we can watch those together. I was like, yeah, maybe in 2 weeks. And I said, but in the future, Max, Daddy and I will be a lot more receptive to things that you're really interested in. If we've told you no and you come to us and talk to us and you say, Mom and Dad, I really would like to watch this. Is there something I can do to earn some extra time to watch this? Or would you guys make some time to watch this with me? I would probably fall over and say yes right away. I was just like, that's how you want to approach that. So I felt like we left it with the consequence, amended the situation, and then giving him tools for the language to use next time when we're in that situation and there's something you want to do. But again, I feel like someone who's healthy is listening to this or watching this and they're like, oh, well, that's how I parent all the time. And I'm like, you're amazing, because I just didn't realize, Emily, I had really let my own, I don't know, busyness and stuff as kind of distract me in my parenting. And I wasn't as focused, if you will, and able to do that more consistently. I guess that's just it. Yes, I've had those situations come up before, but trying to get to to your point, falling in the direction of perfection, right? Falling in the direction of righteousness, that. Yeah, let that be my focus this Lent. And so anyway, that's been my Lent. So I want to hear about this novena.
That's beautiful. Just one thing to add, just like you were saying, to Max, are you mad are you upset that you did this, or embarrassed? I forget the word you use. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I always say, I'm the hardest part is forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
And I try to give examples of where it's so I feel like I'm always saying I do stuff all the time where I'm like, why did I do that? I don't know if I did that. And it'll always be, the hardest part will always be forgiving yourself. We always forgive each other, anyway. So I feel for kids. It's just so.
It's hard. Well, and that's what's saying is oh, good. Right. Yep. And it's hard to hold the line of the consequence though. It's still important to do that because mercy without justice is not mercy. You know what I mean?
Right.
There is that. I hope that makes sense. Not
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say one more thing. The other thing we're doing for Lent as a family, and then because I want to hear what you guys are doing as a family too.
Yeah.
So we've just added in our family prayer. We did we'll like do novenas for different feast day, but we're doing our Divine Mercy Chaplet as our main family prayer now. Usually we do like different things, but right now we're just doing the Divine Mercy. Yeah, that's been really grace-filled too. And I want to just plug again for the Divine Mercy Chaplet for people who can't get a full rosary in at night, if nighttime's the family prayer time, because that can be hard sometimes depending on ages and things. Divine Mercy Chaplet is really great, guys. Like it's
great.
fast. It's so much faster than a rosary. It's probably half the time, but even though a rosary is really not that long either. So anyway, but it's also the line is just so short. The kids can really participate pretty easily, we've found. And they can do the rosary too. So anyway, I just wanted to say it's been very grace-filled, and it's been a good collection again of like, okay, family, we're stopping everything. Boom, we're focusing and trying to really find a time, which is hard in our schedule actually, even though we're together all the time, like find a time where we can like all just stop and like pray. That's not necessarily late in the evening either. So yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Okay. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Emily. One more thing.
Oh, please do.
Stations of the Cross. I wanted to say this because I love it. It's my favorite thing in Lent. Okay. Stations of the Cross with kids. I love Stations of the Cross with kids. I think we talked about this last year.
Yeah, we did.
I love the visual. There's a visual. I love it. If you go to your church, you can do this at any time too. Like we cannot participate in our church's Stations of the Cross because it's like at dinner time and bedtime. And I'm like, Father, that does not work for, I don't know how many families. I don't think there's any families actually going to that with young kids. But we go, I take the kids in like the middle of the day on Friday and the church is empty. So we can be a little bit louder. Like, if they want to talk in a regular voice, they can follow along. We talk about the characters and the scenes. We pray, and they're doing great. And each week they get so much better at it too. So sorry, that was the last thing. I really apologize, Emily.
No. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I remember talking about this last year, and we have not been good about this. I had it in my head. This goes back to the question about what we're doing as a family. The Holy Heroes, I'm going to send you the link for this.
Oh, yeah. You talked about that.
Amazing at home. It's so good. It's so good. And we have not done it yet. And I was just saying, and this is part of the family thing that you were just referencing. We have started praying rosary as a family every night. And, but because of that, it was like, we are at home together a lot as well because Josh works at home most of the time. Anyway, I was like, maybe we could do stations like Friday morning at home and do rosary. Anyway, it's just funny. And we haven't implemented the stations, but we've been good about the rosary. Anyways, the rosary fits into what I just wanted to talk about briefly, but is this novena. And it's called Novena for Impossible Requests. I don't know how long it's been around. I don't know any really of the backstory, but I had a friend.
Okay, I have to add a little side note. I have to plug you, Emily. Emily always finds the best prayers, guys. Okay, go ahead. Novena.
So they find me. They really do, because I have people that tell me about them. And I had a charting girl, and she had mentioned this to me. And I had looked into this novena a long time ago, and it felt too overwhelming. I don't know why at the time, because I've done it now, and I'm like, it must have just been the season. But one of the last times I saw her, we were talking about this. This has been over a year ago, and she was like, you should really do that. You just really start to see the fruits of the novena. And so last summer, so the novena, you get to pick 3 requests, okay? It's set up this way, and you pray it from the Annunciation, March 25th, to the Nativity, December 25th. You pray this for 9 months, not 9.
Wow. Every day?
Every day. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm here to plug that you don't have to start it on March 25th. I started it in August when my uncle got a cancer diagnosis, and I prayed it until Christmas. And I will say that it was really hard to stop praying it at Christmas. I really felt a tug, a struggle. And then as Christmas to now, we're approaching March 25th. For me, I don't think this is for everyone. but for me, maybe it is, I don't know. But this is what I felt like the Lord was saying. It's a discipline for me to not pray it, because I'm just wanting to keep praying it because I've seen it unfold. Now, what I will say is I feel like the Lord uses the time between December 25th and March 25th to show you the fruits of your novena. And I just have chills because if I was still praying it every day, I would think, oh, I have to pray this every day. But
I was like a compulsion.
Yes.
Right.
But I stopped at Christmas. I really wanted to pick it back up and I didn't. And he has just shown me how, and so I am so excited to start this on March 25th again. And so one of the requests that I had, not to get too in-depth or too long-winded, but one of them was for family rosary. And my husband Josh is a convert. The rosary has always been like a hard conversion for him. And he is the one. We were talking about what did we want to do for Lent. We were talking about this around the dinner table and we were getting the kids suggestions. And then we were like, mommy and daddy will talk about it and then we'll talk about it with you. He's the one. I about fell over. Okay. This was one of my novenas. This was one of my prayer intentions. And he was like, I think we need to pray rosary every day as a family. I'm like, yes. I cannot overstate how, as we're praying this nightly, it's just gratitude. It's just gratitude. I can't even focus. I can't even focus on any intentions, requests. I can focus on intentions for a short one. But then I'm just like, I can't believe we're doing this. I look around.
Emily.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. So anyway, I'm saying all this to say this may air after March 25th, and that's okay. I would encourage anyone to pick it up at any time and just try it. And if you miss a day, I'm not here to, condone everything, but we're mothers and we're wives and all the things. And it's really, really, that novena has just been really, it's been really beautiful. So I would just highly recommend looking into that and I'll send a link for it.
Emily, I love it. I've never heard of it before. Oh, there's people I know I want to send that to too.
Yeah, it's a really good one. It's a really
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's great. I was going to say something. Oh, what I love about prayer is that, which I could hear in your voice, is when your heart is when we have that intention or that desire for something. I feel like when we pray on it, the Lord helps almost not quiet it, but bring us with contentment for whatever his will is. So that even if Josh had never said that, it just seemed like you had peace with that intention. Which is so powerful to have peace when you've longed for some. It's like when infertility, when we talk about that with people who are struggling with infertility, we know what it's like to want to be pregnant yesterday. But when that desire gets out of control, you're not at peace. It's just you become crazy. But when you can have peace, that to me is the true miracle. Is when that desire changes. But and then your point, when he's just well, I should pray the rosary. It's what? What just happened? What are you talking about? It's just amazing. It is. I feel like it's just this offering, the Lord saying, and here you go, to your point. And then you respond with gratitude, this is great.
You're so right, though, about it's so interesting how our prayers, we never know what God is doing with them or his time, but the peace that comes, things that maybe not irritate, but for lack of a better word,
is quiet.
Yes. Anyway, right. So yeah.
That's beautiful, Emily. Cool. That's great. Well, I hope the rest of Lent is very blessed. I hope everyone else has had a really good Lent. Yeah.
I do.
And continue on.
Yeah. The person.
This weekend, actually, that's another little praise to God. This Sunday was kind of the first one, obviously it's only the third Sunday of Lent, where I was I don't really want to go back to what I was doing. And I'm because some penances, I'm when is Lent over? But I'm feeling like that. And I'm so grateful for that thought. Maybe it'll change by the time I get to Easter, but for now.
I think, not to say no, but I think it's growing in self-control. That's how I feel.
Yes. And the fruit of that, Emily.
Yes.
That control of your faculties.
Yes.
Because, and then, again, the fasting is helpful because when you're in the moment and you feel the restlessness, the pull to the vice or whatever, at least this is me, I'm so much more aware of it during the season of Lent. Yes. Whereas before, I feel like I would have just done it as if that had control of me. Like I had no control over that.
Yes.
Whereas now I feel like I'm in the moment. The Lord is very clearly showing me, here is that, here is this, you get to choose, and it's like, so much more empowering.
So much more awareness. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We will talk more next time. Emily and I are going to talk about my birth story with Moses.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited for that. Yeah. So stay tuned for that for next week. And until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye, Emily.
Bye.
That wraps up another episode of the NFP Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you found our discussion enlightening and empowering. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Please connect with us by sending us an email with your questions and stories to thenfpshow@gmail.com. We'll be back next week with more insights, tips, and heartfelt conversations about natural family planning. Until then, love responsibly.